Heyo, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we will be covering a different type of mod. Now, what type of mod are we covering? No, it's not Persona. Now, I know I've been covering a different variety of different content lately, mainly just talking about Final Fantasy XIV, because I really like that game personally. However, that's not quite what we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about a PC hardware mod, or more so, the graphics card. So, I may have screwed up a few times doing this mod, and I still probably ended up messing up, kinda, but we're gonna go with this and what happened here, I suppose. So nothing's broken, but I had to disassemble this GPU about in total of 3 times. Now, obviously I didn't disassemble the entirety of the cooler, but I essentially had to disassemble it to the PCB itself, which isn't terrible. At this point, I am a master of reassembling and disassembling my 3080 Ti Founders Edition. So the reason why initially I wanted to do this mod is because the temps run high, right, for the memory chips, and it probably needed to be replaced right when I got the GPU as they were running at probably 85C to 95C consistently, right? And that's hot. And then when I first disassembled the GPU to repaste it, because I've had it for a few years, those coolant solutions that they initially had on that thing, man, they're not good. It's actually extremely messy trying to take that all up and clean it out, which you really might see some like stray hair looking things, which isn't this hair, I promise you. But with the thermal pads initially on there, it was this like white stuff that had like gauze on it, and it was just extremely hard to get it off, and it kind of went everywhere. I did my best to get it off, but again, these thermal pads really suck. But initially, this is where issue number 1 came into play, right? I put 2.0 pads on the GPU side. Then I believe on the back side I also put 2.0 pads, which ended up working for the memory chips as they were sitting about like 80 to 84C, which is a lot better than 95C. The die was running at 85 to 86C, which isn't great, which is not good whatsoever in regards to the thermal paste I put on there, which was not this Corsair shit that I initially put on it. It was the Cryonaut stuff from Thermal Grizzly, which that stuff is supposed to work magic, but it didn't because I had put the wrong pad size on the die side. So I essentially had to reorder the right pads, the Gillette Ultimates 1.5 pads, and then finally reassembling it and hitting 69C, which is really fantastic for a 3080 Ti. I still find myself hitting 88C to 96C on the memory junction temps. Now, I find that to be fine because just 69C is just super impressive in regards to this specific GPU with the Founders Edition cooler. Now, I did try to undervolt, and I couldn't really get the results I was hoping for, but it really wasn't affecting temperatures that much, so I think I'm just going to leave the power limit as is. If I feel like screwing around with it a little more, then maybe I might update the description or the pinned comment of this video, but I don't really see myself doing it as it's running at 69C to like 72C, so I can't really complain that much. But within disassembling and reassembling this GPU, I didn't lose a screw, but I lose like a rubber garment thing that is supposed to hold the like Y bracket for like the symbol of this GPU, I'm gonna call it, I suppose, in place, because they just kind of fall out of the like thing that holds it in for some stupid reason. I don't really understand why it just falls out like that. I found one of them, but I can't find the other, and looking for parts for this GPU, especially just the cooler itself, is unfindable now, so I'm kind of screwed in that regard in trying to resell this for the proper value that I was looking to get, although I did damage it with a fan that wasn't going back in, and I had to cut off part of it. Not the ribbon cable, but the ribbon cable was holding on to it. I had to cut that off because I couldn't get it back through to where it initially went through to the, to plug in the fan to the GPU. So that was kind of aggravating. Now, this was the first time I disassembled it, I was just giving it a clean. But although I failed a few times disassembling and reassembling this GPU, I still found it to be a nice learning experience, and I feel like I'm a relatively novice expert at disassembling the 3080 Ti now. As bad as that is to say. Hopefully, I can find maybe those rubber garments online or something. It's like a screw hole, but it's not a screw hole. It just holds that like Y bracket in place, and I just cannot seem to find any parts on eBay specifically for this GPU. And just looking at screw replacements, it just is the retention bracket screws for the GPU. So it just sucks that I can't really replace that, but there's already kind of damage on the shroud just from me screwing with that one fan thing I had messed up on. But regardless to say, with all that, I'm pretty satisfied with the results, even if the memory temps are still a little higher than expected. But man, trying to copy what I found on Reddit to this, it's definitely rough, but it's definitely running cool though. And it may not be the best job, but it's still working. And I'd had to reuse pads that I had already used on the front side. And even though you shouldn't probably do that, I still did it, and it's working. It's working. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this journey through me doing this modification to my GPU, even if it is kind of a mess of what I did. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.